On the faraway planet of Velmara, humans and aliens lived side by side, but not together. The humans came from Earth many years ago to build mining stations, farms, and water plants. The aliens, called Tyrellians, were tall, soft-voiced beings with glowing skin and long silver eyes. They moved with calm grace and spoke in music-like words. Even though they shared the same land, humans and Tyrellians did not share their hearts. There were rules, strong rules. One of them was this: no love between species, not friendship, not care, and certainly not anything deeper. But love does not always follow rules. Kari, a young Tyrellian girl, did not mean to fall in love with a human. But sometimes the heart chooses before the mind understands. It all started when the mine near Kari's village broke down. The ground shook. Fire lit the sky. A metal tower collapsed, and a flood of gas rushed toward the village. People screamed. Tyrellians ran for cover. Kari was there. She was helping gather food near the edge of the forest. She turned and saw a large human man in a gray jacket running toward the mine. She shouted at him, but he didn't stop. He ran straight into the danger. Later, she learned his name: Jonas Marek. He was not a soldier or a leader. He was just a repairman. But that day, Jonas shut off the gas line with his bare hands. He burned his gloves and hurt his arm, but he saved the village. When Kari brought him food while he was healing, he smiled and said, "Thank you. That's kind of you." His voice was deep, but kind. His eyes were tired, but they looked at her like she mattered. That was new for Kari. Many humans ignored her people or looked at them like tools. Jonas did not. After that, Kari found reasons to see him. She brought fruit or medicine leaves. He gave her stories of Earth, old music, and once even a broken music box that played a soft tune. He repaired it for her, just because she liked the sound. Their meetings were always quiet, always hidden. They talked by the river or near the trees when no one was watching. He taught her human words. She showed him how to call forest birds with clicks of the tongue. They laughed. They shared. And slowly, something gentle grew between them. Jonas never tried to rush her. He never asked for more than her time. He simply cared, and Kari felt safe with him. It was more than kindness. It was something her people had no word for. One day, under the silver moons, Kari touched his hand. Her fingers glowed softly. He looked at her and whispered, "Are you sure?" Kari nodded. Yes. That was the moment, the one where everything changed. But someone had been watching. A Tyrellian boy, only a few years older than Kari, saw her, near Jonas. He didn't understand what he saw, but he told the elders anyway. In Tyrellian law, even a rumor could cause trouble. The next morning, Kari did not come to the river. Jonas waited an hour. Then 2. By sunset, he knew something was wrong. He went to the village gates, but the guard said she could not be seen. He asked her family, but they would not speak. Their faces were cold, ashamed. Jonas returned to the mining camp. His hands shook. He didn't sleep. That night he tried to message Earth Command, but the signal was weak. No help came. On the 3rd day, he walked into the Tyrellian square. That's when he saw her. Kari was hanging, not by her neck, not in pain, but by her wrists, tied to a tall ceremonial pole in the center of the city. It was part of an ancient law, a punishment for shame. She was not bleeding, but she looked pale and weak. Her glowing skin had faded. Her head hung low. The elders stood nearby, robes blowing in the wind. They said nothing. They just watched. So did the crowd. Jonas stepped forward. His heart beat loud in his chest. "Let her down," he said. His voice cracked, but he stood tall. A guard raised a hand to stop him. "You do not belong here, human. This is not your concern." "She did nothing wrong," Jonas said. "She loved someone. That is not a crime." One elder, taller than the others, stepped forward. His face was calm but firm. "She broke the old code. She brought shame to her blood. She must face the eyes of the people. Jonas clenched his fists. Then let them see me too, because I love her back. A gasp moved through the crowd. Even Kari looked up, her eyes wide. She had not heard those words from him before. The elder said nothing. He only nodded once. The guards stepped back. Jonas stood in the square, eyes locked with Kari's. The sun dipped low. The moons began to rise, and somewhere deep inside Kari's weak body, her glow returned, just a little. She was not in pain, but her arms ached. Her feet touched nothing. She was tied with soft silver cords, but they still held her tightly. Her body was weak. Her eyes were dry. She had not been given water since sunrise. Her people believed shame must be cleansed by silence and stillness. Jonas stood in the crowd each day, never moving far. He watched her. His face stayed calm, but inside his heart was burning. Each hour that passed made him feel more helpless. The humans on Velmara were told to stay quiet. Earth Command sent a message to Jonas. Do not interfere in local customs. Maintain peace. But Jonas didn't care about rules anymore. He cared about Kari. He cared about her life. On the morning of the fourth day, the Tyrellian Council met in the High Dome. The large crystal hall was filled with light, and the 12 elders sat in a circle. Their robes were white and silver, shining like stars. Kari was brought before them, still weak, her skin pale, her hands shaking. 2 guards helped her stand. She looked around at the faces she once trusted. Now those same faces looked at her like she was broken. The elder speaker rose and said, Kari of the River Wind, daughter of Luma and Drell, do you understand why you are here? Kari opened her mouth, but her voice was dry. She nodded. You have broken the sacred code, the elder said. You have allowed your heart to follow a path forbidden to our kind. You have joined yourself to a human. One of the younger elders frowned. But no trial was held, he said softly. Should we not hear her words? The elder speaker waved a hand. The signs are clear. She confessed with her body. The human confessed with his voice. There is no need for more. Kari looked up. I only loved, she whispered. That is all. Love without honor is not love, the elder speaker replied. And honor means obedience to the laws. Back outside, Jonas waited near the council hall. He was not allowed inside. Humans were barred from council trials, but a small group of young Tyrellians had gathered around him. Some looked curious, some looked angry, but a few looked confused. One of them, a girl with bright green eyes, stepped close. Why did you speak in the square? She asked. Weren't you afraid? I was afraid, Jonas said. But I was more afraid of saying nothing. The girl tilted her head. She may be cast out. Jonas took a deep breath. Then I'll go with her. Inside the hall, the council made their choice. She is to remain under judgment, the elder speaker said. Let her be returned to the pole until the sun passes 7 more times. If she still chooses the human after that, she will be exiled. Kari's legs gave out. She fell to her knees. Exile. It was worse than punishment. It meant being forgotten. Her name would be removed from records. Her family would never speak of her again. She would be like dust in the wind, lost to all. The guards lifted her gently and took her outside. Jonas saw her and rushed forward, but the guards blocked him. Let me talk to her, he shouted. The elder at the gate shook his head. Your words have already caused much damage. Jonas's fist clenched. She's not a criminal. She didn't hurt anyone. She hurt our traditions, the elder said. Then maybe your traditions are wrong, Jonas answered. That night, Jonas sat in the human zone of the colony. The mining towers were quiet. The power lights blinked slowly. His friends asked what he planned to do. I'm going to get her out, Jonas said. You'll get banned, one warned. You'll be arrested, said another. Jonas looked out the window. The sky was full of stars. She's worth it. He began to plan. He knew the Tyrellian security grid well. He had worked on their cooling systems and solar lines. He knew the gates were weakest at the rear of the plaza. He knew the guards changed shift just after second moonrise. He didn't want violence. He only wanted a chance to speak to her, to hold her hand, to say, "You're not alone." The next day, Kari was tied again, but this time the crowd was different. More Tyrellians came to watch, not with anger but with questions in their eyes. Some whispered to each other, some looked away, ashamed. A few young ones held small banners. One read, "Love is not shame." The council saw this and they were worried, but they did not act. They believed the people would forget. Jonas did not forget. Each night he practiced his route. He marked the lights. He watched the guards. He mapped every detail. He knew he only had one chance. And on the seventh night, when the stars lined up in the sky, he was ready. Poles of the city square. The wind was cold and still. Kari hung silently, her arms weak and trembling. Her glowing skin was dim now, barely a soft shimmer. Her head was low, and her breath came slowly. She was tired, so tired, but she was not alone. Far in the shadows, Jonas Marek waited. He wore dark clothes and carried a small tool bag. His eyes never left Kari. He had watched her suffer too long, and now he had made a choice. He would not let her hang one more night. Jonas moved quietly behind the old stone wall near the square. The guards were at the front, watching the city gate. They laughed, spoke in low voices, and didn't see him. He checked his timer. Just a few more minutes. The guards would switch soon. Behind him, two young Tyrellians stood hidden in the alley. One was the girl with green eyes, Miri, who had asked him questions before. She didn't believe in the old ways. She didn't believe love should be punished. "You're sure you want to do this?" Miri whispered. "Yes," Jonas said. "But I won't hurt anyone. I just want her free." Miri nodded. "I understand." She gave him a small signal flare, a bright light stick. "If things go wrong, break this. We'll help distract them." Jonas nodded. "Thank you." The bell chimed softly in the square. Second moonrise. The shift change had begun. Jonas moved. He slipped between buildings, staying low. He passed under the guard tower and climbed a short wall. He was fast and careful. No one saw him. Soon, he was at the back of the square. Kari was only 10 meters away now. She didn't see him. Her eyes were half closed, almost dreaming. He waited behind a tall stone. Two guards walked past, heading to the station. Their boots clicked on the smooth floor. As soon as they turned the corner, Jonas ran. He reached the base of the pole and knelt. "Kari," he whispered. "I'm here." Kari opened her eyes slowly. At first she thought she was dreaming, but then she saw his face, his real, tired, worried face. "Jonas?" she whispered, voice dry. "I'm going to get you down," he said. "Just stay with me." Jonas pulled out a small tool and began cutting the cords. The ropes were tight but old. They cracked under pressure. He worked fast, but then, "Stop!" a loud voice shouted. A guard had turned too early. He had seen Jonas at the pole. The alarm began to ring. Jonas cursed under his breath but didn't stop. He cut the last cord and caught Kari in his arms as she fell. She was so light, so weak. He turned and ran. Guards chased him. Shouts echoed across the square. Lights flashed. Miri broke her flare. A bright green light exploded in the air. Dozens of young Tyrellians in the crowd shouted and ran in all directions, blocking the path. Jonas used the confusion to slip through the back alley. He held Kari close, her head against his shoulder. "Don't worry," he whispered. "I've got you." They ran through the shadows of the city, moving away from the tall council towers. Behind them, the sound of horns and angry voices grew fainter. At last, Jonas reached an old tunnel near the edge of the forest. It was once a water pipe, but now it was dry. He had hidden supplies there, food, blankets, and a medkit. He laid Kari down gently and gave her water. She drank slowly, her hands shaking. Why did you come? She asked. Jonas smiled, his voice soft. Because I wouldn't let you hang. I couldn't. Kari looked at him, her eyes full of tears. They will exile me. Then I'll be exiled too, he said. We'll go together. Somewhere safe. She reached for his hand. You gave up everything. Jonas nodded. I gave up silence, that's all. And it was worth it. The next morning, the news spread. A human had freed a Judge Tyrellian. In public, in front of all. Some called it rebellion. Some called it madness. But others called it hope. The young Tyrellians who had helped Jonas spoke out. They said love was not shame. They said Kari was punished unfairly. Soon, the story spread across the planet. Other colonies heard it. Humans and Tyrellians began to talk. Not fight, not argue, but talk. About rules, about love, about change. The council met in secret. They were angry, but also afraid. For the first time in many years, their laws were being questioned, not with weapons, but with hearts. Kari and Jonas stayed hidden in the old research station near the forest. Miri brought them food. Messages came from others who wanted to help. Jonas fixed the broken power lines. Kari healed slowly. She started to laugh again, even if just a little. Do you think they'll find us? She asked one night. Maybe, Jonas said. But maybe they'll find something else too. What? A better way. Kari smiled. With you, I believe that. And in the quiet night, under the twin moons, they sat side by side, not afraid, because now they were not alone. Days passed in the quiet forest. Kari and Jonas lived hidden in the old research station. The forest was thick and alive with strange sounds. Soft leaves brushed against windows, and distant calls of wild creatures echoed under the silver moons. The world outside was changing fast. News of Kari's rescue spread across Velmara like wildfire. People whispered in markets and spoke quietly in their homes. Some Tyrellians still feared change, but many younger ones felt hope growing. They asked questions they never dared ask before. At the mining colonies, humans listened too. They shared stories of bravery and kindness. They spoke of Kari and Jonas as a symbol of new possibilities. One evening, Jonas sat by a small fire, tuning an old radio receiver he had found. It was cracked and worn, but with some work it could send and receive signals across the planet. Kari watched him, her eyes shining in the firelight. Do you think Earth will hear us? She asked softly. Jonas smiled. If they do, maybe they'll send help. Or maybe they'll just listen. Kari nodded. We need their help. Not to fight, but to show we want peace. The radio crackled suddenly, then a voice broke through in rough human speech. This is Earth Command. We are receiving faint signals from Velmara. Repeat, faint signals from Velmara. Jonas's heart jumped. Kari, they heard us. Kari smiled weakly. It means hope. Meanwhile, in the city, the Tyrellian Council was in chaos. The elders argued in their shining hall, voices rising in anger and fear. The elder speaker stood firm. If we do not act, our people will lose respect for the code. We must find Kari and Jonas. We must stop this before it spreads. A younger elder with a soft voice said, Perhaps the code needs to change. Perhaps love is not a crime. The room fell silent. No one spoke. No one agreed. Outside the city gates, a small group of Tyrellian youths gathered. They called themselves the New Winds. They believed in change. They believed in friendship, trust, and love between all beings. Miri, the green-eyed girl who helped Jonas before, was now their leader. She spoke to the crowd. We will stand for Kari, for all who dream of freedom. for a new Velmara, where hearts are not punished. Her words lit a fire in the crowd. Many nodded. Some cheered softly. The elders heard the news and grew nervous. Back in the forest, Kari and Jonas worked every day to send messages. They repaired the radio, built antennas, and used small drones to fly over the city to watch. Jonas showed Kari how to use a human tablet. She learned quickly. She sent messages of peace and hope to Earth Command. She shared stories of Tyrellian, life, their beauty, their fears, and their dreams. One night, a new message came from Earth. Velmara Command, this is Earth Command. We are sending a delegation to observe. No weapons, just talks. We want to understand. Kari and Jonas looked at each other. This was their chance. But they also knew it would be dangerous. The Council would not give up power easily. The day Earth's ship landed near the city, the people of Velmara watched with mixed feelings. Some cheered, some protested, some hid in fear. Kari and Jonas met the Earth delegation in secret. The humans were kind and curious. They listened to Kari's story. They saw the pain in her eyes and the hope in her smile. One Earth officer said, "Your courage shows us the way. We will speak to the Council. We want peace too." The meeting was a small light in the darkness, but the Council did not like it. The elder speaker gathered his supporters. "This is an insult. We will not bow to Earth or to human ways. We will protect our laws." Still, more Tyrellians began to join the new winds. They organized peaceful rallies asking for change. They carried banners with simple words. Love is freedom. No more fear. Together we rise. Jonas and Kari watched from the forest, proud but cautious. One evening, Miri came to their hidden camp. "We need your help," she said urgently. "The Council plans to arrest many of us at dawn." Jonas frowned. "We can't let that happen." Kari nodded. "We must show the Council the power of kindness." They decided to send a message through the radio. A call for peace, for understanding, for a future without fear. That night, under the glow of the moons, their voices crossed the stars in the silence. Their message was simple. We choose love. We choose peace. We choose each other. The dawn light spilled over the horizon of Velmara, painting the sky with soft pink and gold. The air was cool, filled with the scent of the forest and the distant hum of the city waking. In the hidden camp near the forest's edge, Kari and Jonas sat together listening to the radio. Voices from Earth Command, Tyrellian youth, and others filled the small space with hope and urgency. Today would be the day of change. The Tyrellian Council had announced a public meeting in the city square. For the first time, they would hear the voices of the people, not only the elders, not only the powerful. Jonas held Kari's hand. "Are you ready?" he asked softly. Kari smiled, a gentle light in her eyes. "I am ready. For peace. For love. For Velmara's future." The crowd gathered in the square was unlike any before. Tens of thousands stood together, Tyrellians and humans side by side. The new winds waved banners of color and hope. Some wore simple clothes, others still in traditional robes, but all were united. The elder speaker stood on the raised platform, his face stern but his voice calm. "Today we listen," he said. "We hear your words. We see your hearts." Miri stepped forward, her green eyes shining. "We ask for respect, for understanding, for a world where love is not punished, but celebrated." The crowd cheered softly, a wave of light and sound. Kari was brought forward, supported by Jonas. She looked at the faces around her, young and old, human and Tyrellian. She took a deep breath and spoke. "I am Kari. I am Tyrellian. And I love a human. That love brought me shame, pain, and exile. But it also brought hope. We are not enemies. We are not different. We are one." Her words were simple but strong. The crowd listened. The elder speaker raised his hand for silence. "Kari, Jonas, your courage has changed this world. We must find a way to live together, not apart. Behind the scenes, the Earth delegation watched carefully. Their presence had helped, but now it was up to the people of Velmara. The meeting lasted long. Voices rose and fell. Arguments came and went. But most of all, hope grew. By nightfall, a new law was declared, the Code of Hearts. It stated simply, all beings, whatever their kind or origin, have the right to love freely. All beings have the right to live without fear. All beings are equal. Cheers echoed in the square. Tears filled many eyes. Jonas and Kari embraced. Miri smiled, tears running down her face. The elders stood quietly, some nodding slowly, others still unsure. But the change was real. In the days that followed, the people of Velmara began to heal. Kari's family came to see her. Their eyes were soft now, full of pride and forgiveness. Jonas was welcomed by Tyrellians who had once called him a stranger. The new winds grew stronger, inspiring other planets and colonies. Kari and Jonas worked with leaders, teaching peace and friendship. One evening, under the twin moons, Jonas asked Kari, "Will you stay with me?" Not hidden, but proud. Kari smiled brightly. "Always. Together we will build a new future." And so, on the world of Velmara, where once fear ruled, a new dawn rose. A dawn of love, courage, and hope. The stars above shone brighter than ever,